He doesn't have one.
Alright, so this should be broadcasting now, and we are officially live.
I suppose I can cheat and use those, can I?
Before we get started tonight,
No.
I want to do something different than we normally do. There was a instant fear.
Oh no.
There was a style of dungeon mastering I was introduced to this past session I played that I really enjoyed. So before we get started tonight, what I would like to do is go from top to bottom in Discord with who we have here. Taylor, Jackal, Rob, and then Ramon. And, well, I guess and myself included. And we all share something good that happened to us today. So I will kick off the sharing, and I will say my job gave me tomorrow off, which is always awesome. Taylor, share with us something good that happened to you today.
Let's see. I had lunch with my dad at Applebee's. That's fun.
Okay.
Nice.
Jackal, share with us something good that happened today.
I got to sleep for more than 8 hours.
Alright, Rob, share something good with us.
I had a cheeseburger from McDonald's.
Okay, I can get behind it. And Ramon, share something good with us.
Reaching here. I had a cookie when I got home.
Ha! My good
I'd
thing
like to
was
think
the
that
best
Ramon and
good
I had the
thing.
same problem.
I won. I'm kidding.
Of like, there wasn't like a, I didn't have like a good thing. It wasn't a bad day. It was all so very neutral.
I wish it was a good day.
Oh, okay, cool. Wait, I'm gonna revise my answer and pander. I actually got to play D&D today.
What? Aw, thank you.
Well, not yet.
That's true. The night is still young.
We'll see.
Bad news, Rob, we're canceling.
Oh shit! I could have been playing Madden.
Anyways, welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is Group C. Through the Heart, book... What is this? Book 2? Saga 3, episode 9.
I wasn't aware we were in books.
Yeah. Yeah, and so everything you're going to see tonight is live storytelling, because we are playing Dungeons & Dragons, and we are in a homebrewed world of our own creation. It is the world of Ilderon. If you want to read more about it, you can just Google search Ilderon Tales, and you'll get a couple links in a bunch of places, and you can learn more. The wiki and the website should both come up on that. From there, if you're under the age of 14... please consult your parents before continuing to watch tonight. And finally, does anybody have any questions about Ilderon, the story, or D&D in general? And this is a community thing. We can answer each other's questions.
Can you explain your segmented storytelling? Book 2, Book 3, segment, Saga 4.
Yes,
whatever.
I can. So, book 1 is called Emoja. There are books, there are sagas, and there are episodes. So the books are the meta story that's going on inside of the world, and within that meta story, there are different groups traveling around and experiencing the events that happen. So in book 1, it was the slow destruction of the government of the nation of Ardor Sarai. There were 3 groups experiencing those events from 3 different perspectives. So that is book 1, and that was group 1, group 2, and group 3. Then we moved to Book 2, which was after Artur Sarai's government was destroyed. It turned out there was a clandestine circle of powerful people behind it. And Book 2 is following their exploits around the world. And there are 4 different groups involved in this storyline. Of those different groups, as they experience microcosms of these events, those events are chopped off into sagas. So within Book 2, there are 3 sagas of basically the start of these plans, the results of them, and then, the climax of them. We are in Saga 3 of Book 2. Within each saga, there are episodes, which are the sessions we play. The first saga had 20-something episodes. I tried to limit the second one to 15. And I tried to limit this one to 10, just because they they spanned it over a long time, and people had lives and schedules that changed and varied. So yeah, and so when this ends, we'll go on to the next chapter of Ilderon's history and start Book 3.
The Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah, exactly. No, the Prisoner of Storm's Nest and how he got back there. I'm kidding. But yeah, I hope that
Man, if I got back there, it's a disappointment. I think I'm not dead.
Yeah. Alright, so let's handle the recap for tonight. Since we are a little late tonight, I'm going to try and fly through this as fast as I can. Last session opened up on the 30th of Hunter. The party is in the city of Darindar. It was going into the afternoon. They were, it was the afternoon heading into the evening. They were invited to a noble's estate, a noble by the name of Lady Croesus Ethenar. As they were preparing, they found out some information about her that was kind of ominous, and that people in the town were kind of afraid of her. She had ways of gathering information throughout the entirety of the town, and if you wanted to hide things from her, the only way to do so was to get very far away from town. And yeah, I think that's all the party learned about her. Then on their way to talk to the sage and get more information, the party stopped in at the healing house where a Sunyuth order had set up residence and were healing the sick in town. A strange order captain, Sunyuth order captain, the party found the healing house boarded up and crowds of angry people around it as the remaining cleric was trying to establish some sort of order. The party was informed that a strange Sunyuth order captain had appeared and charged Derry with a crime and dragged her out. And upon going inside the healing house, they found the entire healing house was tattered and ransacked and nearly destroyed, appearing that Derry likely didn't go willingly. And whoever this order captain was quite the fighter to 1v1 a high-level cleric such as her. It wasn't a 1v1, it was a 2v1. The party was informed the person killed one of the 3 clerics that was working the healing house with a single kick. The order captain who killed the lady, or rather evidence pointed towards the order captain not even really being an order captain, but being an imposter. Lydia and Geisen were in the healing house investigating the crime when the party came, and they were able to surmise that the order captain who came and attacked Derry was likely Fangard Fecho from Isildrad, and that she had likely tracked Derry to this town, assuming Derry to be one of Iman's accomplices, as Iman Solom, the Supreme Light that Roman killed, and the corrupt Supreme Light that Group C was investigating long ago, had threatened to reveal information on how to break into Isildred to the enemies of Isildred, and he had said that he had stashed that information with one of his trusted followers. The assumption so far is that that follower is Derry. From there, the party regrouped, shared what information they knew with each other, and then prepared to head to Lady Crosis's manor. Heading to the manor, they came across really strange flora on her lawn. And then the manor was practically empty. They went inside anyways, and a servant eventually greeted them and led them to a dining room where he was then preparing food in the back kitchen. After a short moment, Lady Croesus, Ethenar, joined them. And yeah, there were portraits all around the table of a woman that looked to be the High Prophet of Light for Lesra. But Lady Croesus informed the party that the portraits were of her deceased wife. From there, the conversation went on back and forth, and Lady Croesus revealed herself to be a part of the Circle of Mages that destroyed Calpress and created Isildred. Of the mages, she said there were 5 of them, and she was the Crow. The other names that the group knows about is Altus's master, whose moniker is the Gem-eyed Snake. There is another mage in their circle whose moniker is the Wing. And you were told that the Wing is a mage by the name of Yissel, which the party knows was the person responsible for destroying Isildred. She then told you that Yissel is the worst of their circle, and that he and the Gem-eyed Snake are out in the world, likely still trying to bring their plans to fruition, but the other 3 of their circle have all retired. They're retired evil. From there, she asked the party to share about their travels and stories. The party eventually revealed that they were followers, or rather, that there was one devout follower of Renalta within their ranks. The circle of rogue mages, their number one enemy is death, as that is the whole reason they were formed, was trying to avoid death. And housing a servant of the gatekeeper, the goddess of death, is a penultimate sin to them. Almost unforgivable. She began to release her druidic Circle of the Spore powers, and started altering and withering and rotting things around her as her anger was getting the better of her. And she held on to a tiny monochrome of kindness and expelled the party from her manor rather than attacking them where they sat. From there, Altus and Dusty wished to stay, and the rest of the party went back to the inn. At the inn, the party decided who was sleeping in which room, and then I think, Lydia said, all you have to do is negotiate a ceasefire, save Derry, get the army from Supreme Light Pramada, then save Isildred, and then come back, and then everybody can sort out their differences and work on therapy together. Alright.
Who needs therapy?
Apparently Roman.
Yeah,
I was gonna
actually.
say, did you hear?
I have a lot of internalized trauma.
I was gonna say, did you hear last session? But you came in at the end of it. So
I mean, I went back, and it's like, listen, the trader doesn't need therapy.
he's fine. Those are happy tears.
He's fine. Stop being a baby.
All right, so let's see. Do you guys want to start with Altus and Dusty, or do you want to start with the party?
Let's start with the party because I want to wait with. I want to wait to see if Altus will come on. Still.
Okay, everybody has a vote.
I mean, that's actually a very compelling reason.
All right, so
Sure.
it is the late eve. Well, no, it's not the late evening. It's the mid evening of the 30th of Hunter. You are in the Sterling Phoenix in Isildred. Everybody has settled into their rooms for the night. Did somebody swap rooms with Lumigrax? I think Roman?
Lomagrax and Fravia have occupied my room.
Mostly
Okay.
because evil
Where's the
tree.
swapping? There was get away from the mushroom tree.
Yeah, evil tree. No, thank you.
Okay, so Roman's still in his room too?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
We've got a vacated room.
Yeah, occasionally you hear an echo down the hallway of that shriek of the tree brushing against the window just ever so often. And I'm assuming you left the sword in there?
Oh no, I took it with
Okay,
me.
you took the sword. Okay.
I'm not gonna leave it alone.
Okay. All right, so what do you want to do? We are going to time skip 30 minutes. It's been 30 minutes since you guys have gotten back to the inn and everybody is settled in.
So, like, do you just have the sword sitting there, like on a table or something?
Yeah, describe to me what Lumigrax is doing with this sword. Because when I skimmed the recap, I saw the text Lumigrax was trying to piece it back together. But from my understanding... Oh, go ahead.
The pieces are there, but they're like laying out in a way that they're laying on the ground, but they're not connecting. They're just it's like a puzzle, but like they're together there.
Okay, yeah, because from my understanding, Lumigrax has just been looking at this and crying. Okay.
Oh, he has, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get the I wasn't informed or on the same thought pattern of you of if Lumigrax was trying to put this back together, because I was of the understanding he has not tried.
That might have just been me providing artistic license to the recap.
Okay. So
I
yeah,
also did try to make sure it sounded like it was not exactly working.
yeah.
Like
Right, so,
he's
while
got
he's
the pieces spread out on the ground, but like in the fashion of what the sword should look like.
Okay.
Like
Fravia, seeing him still, I guess, crying over his sword, would like to see if she can try casting mending on like a part of it to see if that will have like mending will help to start the process of restoring the sword.
Okay. You know what? I'll give you one better. Give me an Arcana check. As that's going like as you're mending this, like how well can you navigate this magical artifact?
Sort of someone I hate.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 4.
All right, a 4. You are going
Flawless
to
job.
yeah,
Perfect.
you're gonna start casting
Fantastic.
mending on this, and like, you know what? I'm just gonna roll a percentage die on this. There you go. Yeah, you are going to start casting mending on this, and roll me a d12.
Please be up. Damn.
I'm not getting good rolls tonight.
A 5 out of D12 is not bad.
All right, so
I mean, statistically, yeah, but
Rob, roll me a d20.
Oh god. I hope it's a 6. Just a D20?
Yes.
It's a 2.
All right.
We're not gonna get good rolls.
Right there with you.
We play Fate
I
Show,
just
we're
have to
screwed.
like look up one last table. Here we go.
Oh no.
The sword explodes in the dust.
You just triggered a wild magic surge.
Okay,
Just
so
TPK the right here.
So Fravia is going to kneel down and start casting mending on the sword, trying to piece together this magic, or trying to piece together this artifact as it is leaking mist and astral energy. The mending puts together a seam of the weapon. However, that seam begins to start glowing light and just building up energy, almost like you stitched up like a blood vessel that is flowing far too much. And eventually that seam is going to start fracturing and then break again, and a wind is going to blow over the room as the mist puffs out quickly. That said, everybody's magical items that activate around them, the command word to activate them has been changed.
Oh wait, I haven't attuned to this glove yet. So sweet.
Cool, you can change it back.
I don't think I have any items that activate.
Same. I mean, I have my gauntlets of ogre power, but I don't really have an activation phrase.
Okay.
Need attunement.
Well, like technically you're supposed to. Like your character would say it when he uses them. It's just generally people don't roleplay that.
Yeah.
So, quick question before I say something to the character. Do I know where he got that sword, or just that he has this sword?
Roman's a little Nagian. You can roll me a religion check on what that sword is, or a history check. I'll allow either.
Grex, what is this sword?
I 12. And I'm still rolling to the GM because Mr. I got charmed in secret.
You can change it back.
I switched it back.
Yeah, you recognize the pommel of the sword. But I mean, it could be a replica. But yeah, it's a famous Ilderon sword. It's the sword of the Sky Queen.
Atoma.
Yeah, Atoma. There we go.
Why do you have Stormbreak? Where did you get Stormbreak? You're Dorian nobility. Why do you have Ilderon artifacts?
It was kind of shoved into me by Renata.
What?
Come again?
Oh, he did.
You.
She kind of gave it to me.
What?
Ah!
Yeah, this checks out.
Yeah, she wants me to do something.
Can't get away from her.
28 years. And the only thing I've ever gotten from her is silence and an elf soul. And I had to barter for the last one.
Bravy's just gonna look at Roman.
It's a long story. I didn't cover it at dinner.
That's probably best. Oh wait, I'm not here. Let me mute myself.
But yeah, I escaped death, and she wasn't happy about that.
No, so you don't escape death. That's not how that works.
Well, that's how I view it.
Well, no, because she lets you out. So that's why I had to barter for the elf soul, incidentally. That's why I know this.
Is this your only weapon, Grex?
I've got another sword, but that's the one that she gave me.
Have you tried praying on it?
No. I figured that she'd be upset if she found out that it was broken.
Yeah, well, I mean, she gave it to you. She's a deity. She seems more equipped than either of us any of us to fix it.
Deep breath.
Well, I'm not much of a prayer.
I mean, I guess the group's resident heretic, can pray to his heretic deity for you on your sword.
Will she just give you the sword?
Hope not. Not really good with broadswords.
Are you actually gonna do
Well, I don't know. I guess I owe it to my culture to have this thing fixed if it's the real deal.
Yeah, it's the real deal.
So,
So Fravia is going to touch Roman on the shoulder and cast guidance.
yay, guidance. That means I'm gonna get to roll
add
even
it.
slightly better than bad.
Add a D4.
So I will get on both of my knees, sit on my knees in front of the sword,
Fravia will walk
Stare at
far
it.
away.
take a deep breath, and be like, Eldora, we beseech you to guide us lost souls to fix this tool you've given us to sort of here.
I just realized this was probably a bad idea.
Administer your will. Is it religion check time?
Yeah, roll me a religion check. You do have guidance if you choose to use it.
Yeah, I was about to.
All right.
A12. I never roll much better than a 12 on religion checks. That's probably why my god never talks to me.
Okay. You are going to pray over this artifact, and like the mist is going to keep seeping out of it. It slows a little bit, but it doesn't seem to have any distinct immediate effect. The shards of the sword are still scattered about the ground.
Yeah, no, this is about right.
Fravia is going to go to it and try mending one more time. That would be Arcana again?
Yeah, go for it.
$11.
All right. This time I'll give you I'll give you a reflex save. You again patch a seam in the sword, binding two pieces of the blade together. And you see the mist is still, or rather the light is still pulling on against the seam, and it is fracturing. You have forewarning this time before it comes out.
Okay, for what would I roll for that?
It is a dexterity check to either throw the blade across the room or dodge out of the way of it. As the
Not save. Not save, right? But straight to start.
a save. Yes, it is a
Okay.
save. You see the seam about to burst. You were aware of how the mist and magic busted out from it before. Burst out from it before.
Right.
Get all the bad saves out right here at the beginning. All right. Fravia, roll me a.
This is how I die.
Gonna kill us all.
What you wanted.
Hold on. We're good, probably. All right, roll me a D100.
Oh no.
Got a 7.
All right. The in-room is going to explode in fire. Everybody, everybody around Fravia, give me a reflex saving throw, against Fravia's spell save. If you fail, you take the full damage. If you pass, you take half. Fravia,
7.
you cast Fireball centered on yourself as
Oh,
a
no!
third level spell.
That's what I expected.
So what kind of saving throw?
Dexterity saving throw. All right. So yeah, Roman fails. Lumagrax? I feel like Lumagrax fails. Fravia's save should be like 16, right?
Yeah, it's like 17.
Yeah. Alright, Lumagrax fails. Fravia, you have the same save as, I guess you have the chance to save against your own fireball.
Let's see.
The magic coalesces around you, and then, yeah, explodes. Everybody takes 27 points of fire damage. The walls of the inn are on fire around you. After the explosion happens, so this bellowing boom's going to rain out from your room as like the remainder of the fire pushes out into the hallway. Lil Haran, who is in the room next to yours, Lathy, and Gelsina. Well, yeah, I guess Lydia and Geisen too are going to run to your room.
I'm just gonna start casually using my decanter to put out the fire.
Citrate on Fravia. She's just there, covered, soaked.
Aloharan is going to like burst into the room first and say, "It's Altus back." Lathy comes in and says, "It's Dusty back." And
Who has summoned the mighty god?
Geisen and Lydia and Gelsina follow, and it's like, "What's going on?" As they see the flames being put out.
Stupid sword.
It's cool, we're all fine. It's just a little fire.
Don't worry, Dusty's here in spirit with the party. We're
Trying
setting
to
things on
fix
fire already.
this stupid sword.
Lil Haran's going to look at it and say, well, she'll roll a history check on it. She's going to look at the fragments and say, Lumagrax, didn't you say that thing was thrust through your chest in order to attune to it? The stories from history tell of the same thing happening to the Sky Queen who was gifted it from Ililia.
Lilia.
Yeah, I was. Does that have anything?
She's saying
You
you need
with
to
this?
just stab yourself.
Stab myself again?
Aloharan is going to
what?
grimace and say, it's probably worth more trouble than it's worth.
It is.
I mean, I can try it.
Well, before you do, I'm gonna cast
Okay.
Cure Wound. That's a single target. Yeah. I'm gonna touch him with Cure Wound. Third level slot.
Okay, on Lumagrax?
Yep.
Okay. Lumberjacks restores 19 points of health.
All right.
Don't die.
As Lumberjacks is getting like ready to use his sword, Lydia's going to look at Lumberjacks and then to Roman, and then say, "So, did the gatekeeper say anything to you while we were in there?"
Nope. She hasn't spoken to me.
Jilly never talks to me. As I stated before, talked to her like twice.
Lydia is going to nod and say, "Yes, well, she is a god, so I assume she's busy with deity things."
You'd think she'd show up. She usually shows up when you pique her interest. Not the only reason I got to talk to her the last time.
Lydia's going to shake her head and say, "I don't know much about Renolta, but I know if you ever want to hear from Alilia, you can just go and visit the gift."
Been there, it's nice.
Alright, as this conversation's happening, what's Lumberjacks doing?
Stab yourself.
He picks up the sword and he stabs himself, like Sora stabs himself in Kingdom Hearts 1.
Okay, so you're picking up the pommel or like the tip of it or what? Where are you stabbing yourself? Like how far in are you doing with this thing?
I pick. Well, how much of the sword from the hilt up do I have?
From the hilt up, let's see. I'll let you decide that. Roll me 2d8. You have, so hey, you got 13 inches of sword. From the handle, the bottom handle of the sword to, like, the top of what's left of, like, the pommel and, the blade, you've got 13 inches.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Pretty impressive.
I just realized this is just like Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah. I think, in fact, we shared that video once in relation to this sword.
I might have.
So, where are you stabbing it?
The chest.
Okay. Alright, so
Remember to work, it needs to go through the heart.
As you stab this thing through your chest, Lydia is going to turn around. Aloharan turns around. Lethe does the same. Gilsina is going to just watch you with like a puzzled expression.
I will grimace, but also just kind of watch.
Yeah, Gaizen, I feel like he's gonna shake his head and then start heading down the hallway. Lumberjacks. Gonna die this session. You are oh wait, okay, and one more. Okay, you are going to take 6 piercing damage. And 22 psych damage as this sword leeches off of your life force. the mists that are seeping from the other pieces are all going to start pulling towards the sword. They are not attached, but the mist is now linking to one another. So the blade of the sword, what's left of it, the handle and the pummel and then like the blade is thrust through your chest right now. The mist is going out of your back and linking to the next piece of the sword on the ground, forming a connection. And instead of the mist from the other end of that shard of the blade amorphously like floating into the air, it is instead forming a connected flow to the next piece of the blade, which connects to the next piece of the blade, which connects to the next piece of the blade. They are all still on the ground, but the mist is not going anywhere. You become attuned again to Stormbreak. You feel its magic start flowing again. You also take all of that damage, 28 damage in total, finishing its attunement process.
Oh, I did.
Ilderon is going to run over to you and pull the sword out of your chest. As she does, again, the mist reconnects with all the other pieces. They don't pull themselves together, but they're all connected. What's Lemograt's doing at this point?
He's just watching and waiting to see like what happens with the sword.
All right.
Fravia, I think you can maybe mend it now.
She's just gonna look at him.
Well, before, the mist was just kind of all over the place, It's like a riverway and you didn't know where the mouth was. Now it's all, like, focused and centered.
Everyone stand back.
All right, Fravia, you go to put two pieces together, and as you do, to start casting Mending, they connect.
Oh, good.
You don't even have to cast Mending. You put another two pieces together, same thing happens. Same thing happens until you have the whole sword together.
Okay, I guess once the sword is complete, she's gonna put it down and then walk away from it. Probably late at night, so I'm guessing the bar is closed.
Actually,
I'm gonna need a drink.
it's Darendar, so I'll roll you a percentage die. Because probably not. No, it's still open. The tavern keep. Yeah, she's still down there dishing out drinks.
She's gonna go down and get something to drink.
All right.
I'll sheath it once it's fixed.
How you doing, big guy?
Okay.
I'll sheath it with the sheath, and not like picking up the hilt.
Okay.
I'm trying not.
As you sheath the weapon, you are going to feel something new inside of the weapon. The weapon almost hums in your mind as you place it inside of its sheath.
Something new.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make some kind of check to figure out what it is?
Yeah. What type of check would you like? How would Lemograx try and figure this out?
He'd probably use something that he's skillful in, like perception or insight.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oof.
Oof. Big oof.
Yeah.
I know it!
as you like lift the sword and you slide it into your sheath, it just like clinks against your muscles, like, you know, the sword hitting the final part, or the pommel hitting like the final part of the or the hilt hitting the final part of like the sheath, and you just like feel like, oh, that's a little different weight to it. I don't. Okay. You're not sure what it is with the sword, but it feels different.
A different weight. Like heavier or lighter?
To Lumagrax, maybe heavier. You're not quite certain. I mean, it's been a couple days since this thing's been broke. A lot of tears.
A lot of tears.
So what's the scene right now? There's a probably slightly bleeding Lumagrax in the middle of our wet, slightly burned in-room with a concerned Alohar and entirely too many spectators?
Gelsina, Lathy, and Lydia are watching. Geisen has went back to his room.
Ravia went down to get something.
Yeah, and Bravia
Well-
left to get a drink.
Looking at the, two lovebirds there, I'm gonna just casually walk and close the door. Feel like, nothing to see here, girls. Go to your rooms or drink or, I don't know.
Lathy is...
I don't use the word lovebirds, though. That's an internal thing.
Yeah, Lathy is going to straighten up in her new elven clothing and say, I think I will go have a drink. She's going to walk downstairs. Gelsina's going to stay and look at Roman and say, I think that sword's curse.
All swords are cursed with the burden of being used to inflict death.
She's going to shake her head and say, like, no magic stuff. Like, okay, how do I explain this? So in Isildred, we had the circle of 8 mages, and they handled all of the magic stuff for the town, because we didn't really know how to, like, use magic and stuff, and we'd have to scavenge for food a lot of the times, and all of the things we brought back, they turned the stuff we brought back into food using magic. But some of the stuff we brought back was like valuable magical stuff, but we couldn't use it, but they could use it. But then some of the stuff we brought back was magical stuff that did bad stuff, which they then kept in the tower. And I think that that sword is one of the things that does magical stuff that's bad.
Are you accusing an ancient Illigian artifact, a gift from the goddess of life herself, as being tainted or of negative purpose? Because you're right. But make a point.
Yeah, Gelsina is going to look a little confused and say, well, if your goddess of life is so good, why is she giving out bad stuff?
Well, because she didn't hand out the weapon. Arnalta did.
She's going to nod and say, well, regardless, I saw him pull that thing once before. Did pretty nice in the fields of the border. Still, she shakes her head and says, seems kind of weird to make it do the magic stuff. You have to stab yourself with it. Didn't have to do that before.
Sure about that?
No.
Fair.
She replies earnestly.
Well, sorry, you have to do that anytime you want to attune to it. Constor breaking the thing probably broke its connection to it, so he had to do it again. You probably just missed the first time.
She's going to shrug and say, I'm just saying, I knew a guard who went crazy. The 8 had to take the weapon from him and put him down.
I wouldn't worry about Gregs.
She nods and says, he's quiet, but I like him. Kind of in like she puts her hands up and says, dependable type of way.
Roman nods.
I grunt.
From the other side of the door.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm gonna go get something to drink because I've been set on fire.
She is gonna nod and start following you and say, so you any good with like magic or stuff?
No, I just punch things. Lydia, did you want to join?
Oh, yeah, Lydia, who's still in the hallway. Let's see, what's she doing? How's she feel about this? She is going to look over to you and say, I'd hate to be a cliche, but I don't really drink.
That's fine. I really don't much either anymore.
She shrugs and follows. Inside the room, before we jump to the rest of the party, Ilderon is going to look to Lumagrax and say, looking at his bloodied chest, of course, and the sword he's holding in the sheath, and she's going to say, have you considered my advice?
You're gonna have to remind him what that was.
I know I am. There was a roll. What was that roll? Oh, that's a history check. Lumagrax, you remember Ilderon told you that this being in this contract with the gatekeeper as her champion is really bad news bears for you. But historically, the gatekeeper has always been willing to trade and bargain, and that you should come up with a trade to free yourself of her service. She told you that, it was either the second or first session.
So a long time ago. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in world, it's been 3-4 days.
But IRL,
yeah.
It's been
months.
Yep. He's gonna be quiet for a few seconds, and then he's gonna say, I don't know what to trade. She's given me this mission to do, and yet she's a god, and you can't really barter with a god.
I have. In fact, I told you I did.
She is, Ilderon's going to speak up and say, you know what the defining trait of life is?
not dying?
No, it's a soul. Independence, free will. Something that has one can never truly be controlled, not completely and entirely. When you lose it, you become subject to all types of forces. Like Terai, I've read stories about them. Powerful mages can exert dominance over them. It's the lack of a soul. No god or being can command another soul entirely.
Is there such a thing as free will when there are gods walking amongst us?
Ilderon is going to think for a moment and then say, look, we saw the Aramir. We saw the boat of rumors when we were thrown into the bridge. We can say what we want about it, but at least some modicum, or some tiny morsel of those stories are true. That she plucks and takes souls as she wills. I just think that there's a reason she takes souls that would probably be willing to serve, rather than every powerful individual or powerful person that dies. If you're trying to think what to get a god, she shrugs and says, maybe the one thing they can't take with any amount of divine power. Servants.
So you just want me to hand Roman over on a platter?
Bitch, I'm already signed up for the boat.
Ilderon is going to shake her head and say, no, I'm not saying kill anybody in their sleep or anything. I'm just saying if you had to think of someplace where to start. She shrugs and says, it's noble to sacrifice yourself. I can understand that. But she's going to shake her head and say, you know, now that you pointed out, this is silly. I'm sorry. I just hope that things don't turn out too poorly for you. She's going to place a hand on your hand that's holding the sword, and then stand up. She bows and says, "We'll leave for Beacon Hold tomorrow. I hope that you're more familiar in that region than the rest are." And Ilderon's going to start walking towards the door.
I say, when she reaches the door, I say, "Thank you for your concern."
Yeah, she stops, like looks back at you, and then opens the door and walks out. Alright. Fravia. Downstairs, eventually you were joined by Lathy, who sits down and drinks at, or rather, she's going to order a drink from the bar too. I think she has like 6 gold that she won from gambling. Oh, she has one.
Fravia will cover for her. Buy her
Yeah.
a drink.
And she's
You can tell me how much that costs. I can try to. What I have. We'll do. You can tell me later on.
Okay, yeah, she's
You don't have to do
going.
the math now.
Yeah, she's gonna just like shake her head and say, "Gatekeeper, am I right?"
Here. I take a big old swig.
She's gonna say, she sent people to kill my uncle. They almost killed me. I mean, he cursed me, but he is still family. And then she did something to my home, threw us all into the bridge. We got trapped in Isildred. She shakes her head and says, "No regard for life."
She unleashed her forces in ardor. The undead. Lots of people died.
Yeah. At this point, the rest of the party is going to be coming downstairs with just seeing.
I couldn't do anything about it.
She's Leafy is going to just and she hasn't drunk her drink. She's just going to swallow a lump in her throat and say, "You were in Ardor when that thing opened up? We saw the storm when we traveled north."
Oh yeah, I was there. And I fought. Alongside some companions. I didn't make it. No one remembers that day. Probably be a day of mourning now.
Gilcina's gonna come and sit next to you. She's gonna nudge Fravia and say, cheer up. Companions die all the time. Well, I mean, except in this lot. I mean, I've only had 2 die since I've been with them, which is a record low.
It is a record low. Things can get pretty bad.
Leafy is going to look back at Roman and say, "You must be pretty terrified being with a lot of us."
Why?
She shrugs and says, "Not a lot of high respect for your goddess or your faith." Lydia looks at her.
I'm a little Nigean. That's called every day.
Lydia places a hand on her chest and says, "Wait, I wouldn't do anything to him, or I wouldn't permit anything to happen to him within our ranks."
Others would. All that really matters. I'm pretty sure worshippers of the Forgotten Song aren't really too much welcome in Ardor now. That might
Well, I don't know
change.
about that. There was this one guy that was with us the day Respis died.
I said too much welcome. There could be someone that changes things.
I mean, there's not that many of us left.
I just want to input a tiny little thing, and you guys can keep going. When Fravia said others might, let something happen to Roman, Gelsina started looking over at him, putting her fist into her hand.
I feel like, is she being playful? Like, yeah, buddy. I can't understand. I don't understand Gelsina because she's always weirdly chipper, but she's a killer. She's a stone cold killer. I know this in like 4 fucking recaps.
She will
dangerous.
she'll stab you with a smile on her face.
You can roll an insight
another
check.
day.
Like, Gelsina's ice cold.
I mean, from what you know about her, she doesn't have any beef against Renalta. Maybe she just likes participating? Question mark.
I mean, that's the thing, right? If it's like, oh, is that the thing we're doing? I want to be one of the cool kids.
Isildrad does things to you.
Yeah, it doesn't seem personal.
Yeah.
That almost makes it worse.
I mean, there's not that many of us left as far as I know. It's not exactly a religion that gets to do a lot of meet and greets.
There could be more than you think, and they just keep quiet, like
Well,
you.
no, it's because most of them are dead.
Fair.
You know, about 8 years ago, the Sun Yith kind of did some heretic removal.
Freyve just sips while looking around awkwardly.
Man, if
Not to look
only
at
they
Lydia.
were at,
Oh, I'm
legit
sorry.
now.
I killed the mood again with my historical comments on stuff.
Yeah, but
Lydia
okay.
is going to hold up her hands and say, "Hey, I wasn't involved in that. I was just a child back then. But I know my dad and Derry were both passed up to be the High Prophet because of their beliefs."
I mean, it's like you said, it's not like a big deal. I don't really know any of the people that did it. Well, that's not true, is it? I think Kenyara was part of those raids, but we're cool. I mean, you know, what they're offering me, the position and the what.
It's funny that, yeah, you were offered a position in the Sun Yith. There's
Lydia's gonna look
ironic.
over at you and say, "You know Captain Kenyara? She helped me in
Yeah.
my investigation in Dawkinsdale. You know,
Nice lady,
the one
isn't she?"
that got my dad arrested and eventually killed."
Great
We're
times.
never gonna be able to dance around that, are we?
She's going to shake her hands and say, no, his actions were his own sins.
But yeah, Order 42, when we attacked that Archblade camp, Order 42 was the ones who helped us.
She nods and says, "Yeah, the last I saw of Order 42, I ordered them to assist Altus and the rest of his guild in Caius Kos. They were hunting a criminal that slipped through our fingers. And Lethe is going to raise her hand and say, I lived in Caius Kos. They got sidetracked. That's where they Lumagrax killed my uncle." Gelsina is going to speak up and say, "Well, my mom died when I was a kid, so yeah."
Oh, we're comparing dead families. It was an arc.
I really don't want to do the dead family thing. Like,
Oh no, I think we know you. You pretty much,
oh,
right? You should have been during the whole slaughter, right?
no, Dad just died on a boat.
Oh,
I mean, I guess it could have been some kind of Sun Yith attack. They are a really good navy, but I feel like there'd have been more fanfare if You just kind of drowned.
Gelsina's going to speak up again and say, I had a brother who refused to join the Vanguard. I had to kill him. Yeah?
Are we having a depression off?
Right, I was like, I'm not.
Right?
I feel like inclined to continue, but at the same time, it's like, what do I don't.
That was
Nobody wins
previous.
here, Gelsina.
That was previous whole thing. Like, oh, we're doing a dead family. Okay.
Lethe is just going to look at her and say, "You lied. You told me you didn't have any siblings." She is going to hush Lethe and say, "No, I lied about not having siblings."
No, this is that thing where Gelsina wants to be one of the cool kids.
You already went through that.
Really, look, nobody wants to be the one with the most depressing family life, trust me.
We're all just
Considering
a
I
little
have a very
sunshine,
depressing
aren't
one,
we?
it's not exactly something to
God, I wish Dustin was here right now. Definitely contribute to the depression off.
At this, Lydia is going to pull out several gold coins from her pouch and say, "Oh, Mother, forgive me. You know what? Drinks on me tonight. Let's talk about the things we're excited for. I have a mother back in Marbleport that I'm going to return to once this is all over."
Ooh,
That's good.
probably
Good.
dead.
Keep your eyes forward towards the future. As for myself, I don't have much going on anymore. Sorry to move it back down, but I'm going to find something.
Gelsina is going to, again, nudge Fravia and say, you got a cool friend, a world traveler. I've been to 2.
It's more than I've been to.
Technically, Roman's been to 2 also.
She'll ruffle
What was my second
Gelsina's
one?
head, her hair, or the head. Yeah,
Oh,
she'll
that's
ruffle
right,
her
I
hair.
have been to 2. Just briefly in the Shadowfell.
Lethe is going to shrug and say, "Well, my grandfather and my brother are alive back in Dockensdale. I suppose after we sort this mess out with Yissel, I'm going back to see them."
That'll certainly be a treat. I see you.
She's going to nod and say, "And let's not get any funny business about this circle of mages. As soon as we get the journal back from that paladin of yours," she looks at Roman and says, "and we find this Yissel, we take what information we get, or we take what information we can from him, we employ it for ourselves, and we all live happily ever after."
Or we all die a horrible death, whichever happens first.
Death flags. Death flags all around.
Gelsina is going to take the pitcher that was brought and poured into a cup and say, "I'll drink to that. I'm tired of death."
Cheers.
Blink.
Lydia is going to look at Lethe and say, "We are not using whatever we find. We're burning it." Lethe is going to roll her eyes and say, "Sure," if feel unenthusiastic. Lydia looks uncomfortable, but she drinks nonetheless. Alright, does anyone else have anything to contribute?
No, I'm only full of sadness.
Oh wait, Roman didn't say what he was going back to.
Yeah, well, is anybody gonna call me out on it?
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna roll 3. Natural 1 for Gelsina, 7 for Lethe, and Lydia is gonna roll a 15. She's going to look over and say, like, as she's sipping from her cup, look to Roman and say, "Roman, what are you going to do when all of this is done?"
I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead.
I'm gonna roll her a priestly die. She's gonna nod and say, well, each dawn is a gift, but you should at least try and plan like you have another one.
We'll probably go see Kinyara again. Probably go find my friend Urkus.
Lydia is going to nod, raising her cup.
No.
Oh, you said
Raise it back,
Roman does
take
the
another
same?
drink.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, let's jump over to Dusty and Altus.
Alright, last hour's mine.
As you are
Dusty Power Hour.
The best hour.
As you follow her up these stairs, obviously you saw the candlelight of the servants leading your party out.
So she's aware that we're strictly not followers of any god, right?
No, she doesn't know that. All she knows is that Altus and you are bound in competition to the Gemite Serpent.
Apparently. Is it really a competition?
I want to say the book literally requires the blood sacrifice of the competitors.
But does it require all the blood, or like just got like a blood brothers, like, I'll just cut my hand open and put it there and then pass the knife over.
I really like this sudden development of, oh no, we have to kill each other. Altus, I love you. Stab, stab, stab.
I'm not saying I won't do it, but let's think about our options here.
I'll shed a tear at least.
I'll think of you fondly. I'll always keep peace with you. Somewhere in this bag of holes. I don't know.
Just whips out like an ear. This was Altus.
This is what it's like. Next time we see Dusty, it's just like, of everyone I ever liked, I cut off a piece and put them in my special bag here.
All right. So as she is leading, well, actually, do you ask her any of that? Of like, do you have to kill Altus?
I do want to ask questions about the book, because like you seem to know a lot about this book.
Okay.
So does it require all the blood, or just that there are some blood?
She, as you're following Croesus, there is that swarm of like black spores behind her, just like swirling pestilence, forming a small aura around her. And the last thing she told you was "come," of like she's really angry. She's storming through these halls as you're following her, and she is going to reply to that and say, what is known is that there must always be one master and one servant for any of our 5. Or there must always be one master and can only be one servant. That would be the better way to put it. Myself and the Panther chose not to take any servants. There was once the Mastiff. But do you know what happened to him?
I don't know any of this. I'm very new. I haven't even heard the Gemide. I legit just offered to read the book, and I just happen to be better at it than my friend here.
He was once the Mastiff. He is now known as the Cerberus.
That sounds cool.
She nods and says, his servant the Mastiff servant succeeded him thrice. The servant's the servant became the master, and his servant killed him, and then became the master.
So it's just this murder chain is what I'm getting.
She nods and says, "With that, we learned. Or at least some of us did. Jim, however, always enjoyed the sport of it."
I mean, eventually... I'm not sure if you heard of it. Isildred? What was the old city name? I can't be bothered. I only knew it as Isildred. Isildred, like, people died every day. Executions, starvation, disease, more executions, the occasional drowned body, someone jumping into the water wall or whatever. You get really used to just death in general in Isildred. Lovely place.
As you're walking through this hall, there are a menagerie of treasures and other items on display up here, and more portraits. Ever so often you see of, and it is very, 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 very dark. She's giving off like the dimmest possible light. So if, because I know Altus doesn't have. Oh, Altus might have dark vision as a dwarf, but Dusty, I don't think he
I was gonna say dwarves have dark. Yeah, dwarves do have dark vision. I do not.
Yeah, so you're gonna barely be able to make out what the stuff is like on the walls or anything. Eventually, she is going to lead you. She's going to lead you to a chamber that looks to be a bedroom. Inside of the bedroom, you are going to see the window is open, and in a corner here, one of those trees has grown through the window and has started spreading around the wall.
What's that?
She looks at it and says, "I like to call him Cyrus the Third."
The third?
She nods and says, "One of my children."
Are we being metaphorical or?
She is going to look at you with a dull, unimpressed expression, and she is going to extend a hand towards you. Altus takes it, and he extends his other hand towards you.
Okay, I will take Altus's hand.
All right. She walks through towards the corner of the room covered in this tree. Before chanting a hushed spell, the tree, or rather the branches and different spores and tendrils of this thing, each begin to give off a dim necrotic light as she walks straight into it. You both phase into the tree and walk out of a grove on the other side. The land you are in is extremely dark. You are in some sort of forest, and there are more of these strange fungus-like trees around you. The ground that you can see in your immediate vicinity is soft. It's green, but it's not grass. After a few seconds, just pushing your feet and toes against it, you can determine that this whole area is like a mossy patch. In the middle of this grove, there are several stone pillars and a basin in the middle of like some sort of circle or cylindrical fount holding water. She begins walking towards it.
All right. Gonna follow, but don't. I don't know. Bad vibes all around. Bad vibes.
After you follow her, she is going to place a hand in the water. She begins moving it, and well, Dusty is too short to see this. So is Altus. Standing both behind her, like Altus is going to be on his tippy toes, trying to look at what she's doing. Before finally the water begins to swirl on its own as she raises her hand out. A stream of it spiraling follows her hand into the air until it forms an entire person made out of this dark liquid. The person is going to look around and then look down at her. She is going to speak up and say, you added 2 more to our circle. Or rather, you added 3 more to our circle. You took 3 apprentices? The man looks down. Altus is, his face is going to go wide as he seemingly recognizes this man. And he is going to bow. And he's going to say, my dear Crow, no, I only took 1 servant for a couple of experiments I had in mind. However, he got kidnapped by the gatekeeper. I thought him dead, as he was lost. He was lost to all of my divinations, all of the magics tied to our circle. I took another, not knowing he still lived. Tell me, did he tell you of Isildred? He's seen it. He's visited it. The gatekeeper put him there.
I lived it for 16 years. Hi.
She's going to hiss and say, how? He shrugs and says, I don't know. I think it was a mistake.
Long story short, she's a bitch.
Yeah. Altus is also going to contribute and say, yes, it was a mistake. She is going to look at them and say, and well, he's going to roll a intelligence check and say, wait, you said 3 servants? I only took 2 apprentices. She is going to gesture towards Altus and say, this one flaunts Yissel's gift as if it's some sort of toy. Another has bonded to it. He chuckles and says, well, whichever one of them proves themselves most worthy, that will join us. She's going to continue and say, and you still think there's an us after all of this? He is going to narrow his gaze and says,
Dusty is actually eating food while watching this. This is perfect.
He's going to narrow his gaze and say, they will join me then. She is going to go silent and say, and if I tell them what happened to yours and Yissel's last apprentice,
I'm gonna guess they died horribly, judging just by the tone of how everything goes with you guys.
And he's gonna say, see, here's the thing about Altus. You have to understand. He craves power. He wants to kill me. He wants to take my place. That's why I know not to let my students get too close.
Wait, please, I know Altus. I had sex with him.
Really throw that, just sprinkle that into any conversation.
He's gonna look
You're
at
really
you.
proud.
He's gonna look at Dusty and say, "And who are you? How did you bind to the gift?"
Hi, I'm Dusty. I lived in Nisseldred for 16 years, met up with Altus, watched Altus die, watched him come back, went on a lot of adventures. We set a lot of things on fire. I read the book. I saw crows. I saw a lot of crows. I saw other things too. I especially saw the crow. But anyway, I got to read the book because Altus was having some issues reading a certain sentence, and I offered to help because I happen to be good with messing with things. Anyway, I now have magic powers. I don't know how to use them. My hands are really cold, and Dusty rubs his hands together, and all of a sudden he shoots a ray of frost just out of nowhere. It was like, oh, that's new.
All right. Yeah. As you give that a explanation, he's going to look over at Altus, and he's going to say, now Altus, you know I can offer you power beyond your wildest imagination. But it still stands. Only one of you will get it. Altus is going to nod, and let's see the thing.
Actually, me and Altus have been talking out of session. We do actually have a plan, so if you're trying to set up a fight, you might actually want to talk to
Altus
Tracy about that.
is going to cast subtle spell. And give me a wisdom save.
Oh boy, that's my best stat. Definitely.
Tracy is not here to control his character, and he did not tell me what Altus would be doing in this situation. So, I am controlling Altus to the best of my abilities. And Dusty is going to feel himself dominated as he stands up and puts his fist over his heart and says, I am but a humble vessel for Altus. I serve his will, and when the time comes, I will end my own life.
This is actually very accurate for what he would do. Continue.
The man in the liquid pool is just going to nod and say, very well. I like the company you choose to keep. I respect Nefano and his ambition. It's what led him to me. But if I had to pick favorites, he winks.
I'm sure you talk like that to Nefano too. Mm-hmm. Actually, am I still dominated? I don't know if I can.
Yeah, well, you are. You are going to be released from the immediate effects of Dominate Person, because it has two things. He can either control every action you take, or just give you a command you have to follow. You feel like you have to act as Altus's servant, and for the duration of this Dominate Person, which is, I think, like, I don't know, I'll have to look at it. But anyways, Dusty regains some semblance of himself. At that, the woman is going to shake her head and say, Jim, you disgust me. He smiles and says, when are you going to come join me on the beaches of Ilonagai? It's quite beautiful, and you and Philly have been missed here. She is going to wave a hand. The water falling into a puddle. She's going to look back at Altus and Dusty and say, "That book. It's filled. It's filled with the. It's filled with the essence from this pool. If one of you were binded to it, you could have contact with the rest of the circle. But until you do, its power will be split amongst you. Too weak to do much of anything."
Who's saying this?
Croesus.
Okay.
You want to know how to unlock its power? You want to know how to achieve it? She gestures towards the fountain and says, "Whatever that insidious man has in mind for you, whatever him and Yessel are still up to," she shrugs and says, "You'll find out in the end. Now, what is it? What else is it that you want of me?"
I'm sorry, you wanted us.
No! She exiled you guys from the manor. Altus asked
No,
if you could stay.
You exiled our religious friends. We don't worship anyone. Mostly because we know all gods are dicks. Me especially. Lived 16 years being ignored because we had nothing useful.
Let's see. She is going to nod and say, "I still have my own gift from Yissel within my manor. I can use it. I can use it to communicate and divine on anyone within our circle. You want to know where Jim is, or if you want to know where Yissel is, I can provide that information. But in return, or before I do, if you want it, I only ask that you do one thing for me."
Well, what's that thing before we agree to anything?
She nods and says, "My service is not one that comes with binds, not one that looks to rip your freedom away from you. You choose, and if I never hear from you again, then I'll know your choice." But she looks back towards the tree that you walked through and says, "I don't wish death upon any of those I encounter. It's much too horrific a fate. It's much too horrific a fate for me to face, let alone to send anyone else to that cold woman's embrace. I want you to break the faith of that Ronalta follower, or of that Forgotten Song follower. Make him suffer. Make him suffer rightly as he should, as as tens of thousands and millions of souls do before him."
Just to make sure we're on the same page, you're talking about Roman, right?
She is going to wave her hand and say, "To be honest, I don't really remember his name."
I mean, we just call him traitor, but if it's Roman, you'll pay us for this? We already do this, sweet! Like, we were doing it for free before, I didn't realize we could get paid for this. Ain't that right?
She's going to begin walking back towards the tree. She touches it again. Its branches begin spindling around, giving off that light again. She gestures for you all to follow.
How do you verify that you accomplished this task?
I don't. Don't worry about it. That's for me to worry about.
All right. Also too, I think at this point the dominate person fades. She is going to step through the tree, leading both of you in front of, or rather outside of the inn. You are in the at the window below the inn, where that tree keeps brushing against Lemograx's window at.
Please tell me this is the part where the sword catches fire.
She is going to nod, stepping back into it, disappearing.
Oh, so that's how she does it. Probably should not
Altus
do what I was originally.
Is going to look and say, look, we tell the others we tried to ask her to unlock the secrets of our book. She showed us some dark evil things and we weren't really feeling that, and so we left and came.
I mean, we've been with this group for a long time. I don't think they'll believe that. I think what we tell them is that we tried to get her to unlock the books, but she was really pissed and told us to go fuck off after yelling at us for about 20 minutes.
He's going to snap and say, "You know what? I knew there was a reason I liked you, Dusty. You're real smart about quite a few things." Okay.
Yep. And don't worry, the motions for our plan, wink, is coming together nicely. Which the DM shall still be kept in the dark about.
Altus is going to grab some fungus off of the tree, grind it between his hands, and then rub it on his face and his neck. Then he is going to... his smile's going to fade as he puts on a stern expression, and he starts walking into the inn.
I just look at myself, I'm still covered in dirt and shit. Shrug and walk in.
Alright. Altus the dwarf and Dusty the halfling walk in to the inn. You're going to see half of your party sitting at the around the tavern keep. They are drinking from a pitcher. Lydia and Roman are standing behind them. And well, I don't know if they would. Well, no, we're just gonna pick up right after like Roman's statement. So they're not really like laughing or anything, but there seems to be like a sense of camaraderie.
Dusty really wants to see what Roman has in his pockets right now. That is a 24.
Brandon, I have a quick question.
What's up?
If perhaps we got an ASI with our level up, has that taken effect?
Yes.
I see him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so obviously, Dusty's going to like just walk up to Roman and swat his hand, or Roman, swats his hand away. Lathy, seeing you guys come back, is going to speak up and say, "Oh, how did it go at the manor? Did you smooth things over?" Altus is going to shake his head.
Ow.
And oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Dusty shrugs and says, "About as well as you expect. We tried to get her to talk more about the crow, and she just was really, really unhappy the fact that we knew you and the fact that you worship you know who."
You could say any of her 3 names. It's fine. It's not. That tree's already mad at us.
Oh. Well, she was mad at Death Bitch, and
I prefer Haldora personally, but
Yeah.
right, the Eldorian bitch, and
Lydia's gonna raise her hand and say, "Well, she's the gatekeeper. She's actually a servant of Alilia, and you shouldn't slander her name."
right, the Illyrian gatekeeping bitch, really unhappy with her. Can't imagine why. She just kills everyone, and does whatever he does.
If you're going to slander my deity, I wish you'd at least, have approximately as much brains as you do height. She doesn't kill anybody. She shepherds souls. Oh, I'm sorry. She apparently killed a large chunk of Ardor's cap.
I mean, let me think about that giant floating hole of death above the city we just visit.
Yeah, no.
I think she kills people. I think I'm right on that.
I neglected that part. I apologize, but traditionally speaking,
you know what? I'm sorry. She shepherded a lot of living people into the dead. Is that better?
I mean,
maybe make a few more orphans.
Of opinion.
What about Ethelred? Is that her dumping ground?
Hold on. I would like to say something blasphemous and rude to people's, thoughts and processes real quick. You don't hog it all, Dusty. I don't really want to hear from somebody about what my deity does and the wrongness of my beliefs for somebody who spent 16 years in a bubble that druid helped create. Maybe you should think about who you associate with.
Well, apparently I associate with you, and you worship the gatekeeping bitch. So
yeah. So I'm just saying that
we just want to call it even here.
You claim that you don't believe in any deities because they abandoned you. They didn't abandon you. She shut the voices out, but you're okay with her because you have absolutely no morals.
Well, there's a difference between not believing and just thinking, and just not thinking any of them are really out for our own good. Have you really thought about it? Has any of the gods ever done anything for us they didn't somehow benefit?
Lydia raises her hand and says, I channel Lilia's power every day. I heal the sick and the wounded.
Because she likes living people to worship her. And give
bartered a soul off of Renolta. A soul she wanted to keep.
Wait, aren't they the same? This isn't the whole... No, legitimate player question. Are they not the same person, or...
Renolta and Lilia are not the same person.
Yeah, Renolta and Lilia are two different gods. Renolta is a triptych god, kind of like if you think of the Christian deity as the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. It's three personalities of the same god. But Lilia and Renolta are two separate people.
Okay.
Or two separate entities. There we go.
Again, now if it sounds like my argument's bad, it's because it is, because I know nothing about deities.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. It's not like Prosus equipped you for this task.
No.
But I think at this argument, Lydia would just try and raise her hands and just be like, I think we should find some sort of calm middle ground. She looks at Fraser.
Sure, what? Sure, I don't mind changing the topic. Why are we drinking? Not that I mind. Mm-hmm. As Dusty takes the picture.
I'm gonna... actually, you know what? I don't care. Get drunk. On my dime.
Thanks, I will.
Yeah. Lethe is gonna speak up and say, we're talking about what we're going back to after we finish all of this. Negotiating peace, beating the Fifth Ascended, finding this Yssel mage and killing him.
Oh, so it's not execution? Because I honestly thought we were just all gonna die.
Yeah, again, Lydia's going to look at Lethe and say, we won't be killing him. We don't kill people. Lethe rolls her eyes.
Just looks at Grax, just looks at all the big burly, fighters, and is like, I mean, some of us are really good at it.
Some of us associate with people really good at it.
I know. I'm still here, aren't
I? She is going to run her hand through her hair and say, Look, I mean, I bet Eloharian could, like, talk him out of it or something. Like, if he's so afraid of death or whatever it is, and the threat of death is immediate, he'd be reasonable.
Yeah, someone who's trying to alter the course of fate to avoid death definitely sounds like someone that can be reasoned with.
I actually have to kind of agree with him. He's very urgent, but he's got a point here.
You know, I spent
It doesn't
16
preclude
years
us
of my
from trying to do things in a peaceful way. We have to exhaust the non-violent options before we burst into the unsavory.
Shall we ask him if he wants to sign up for his execution? Do it Isildred style. Lady, you saw the book, right?
Gelsina's going to stand up at that and say, "Ooh, I can do that. I used to work the executions for a couple weeks."
Yeah, no, see, we got a trained executioner.
Lydia is going to roll her eyes and put down her cup and then say, "Good night." And she's going to start walking upstairs.
Oh, actually, now that I think about it, I still had chemicals cooking in my room. Gonna go see if they're done now.
Lathy's going to look at Fravia and say, "What do you think? Kill or redeem?"
Said Lathy asked that?
Mm-hmm.
I had a quote here somewhere for that. Now I can't find it.
Gelsina's gonna like hold up a hand and say, "What's redeem mean?"
To return to glory.
That exists.
You ever shined a piece of metal that was dirty?
Oh yeah, so Fravia is gonna say to that
You
question.
guys had metal?
Sometimes sacrifice is needed. Save others. If he's a danger to the world, I need to be put down.
She is going to snap and point at Fravia and say, "Well, I think the Four Ascended have my faith."
Now, don't misunderstand. I don't like killing. I don't like the fact that we may have to end up killing him. Sometimes it needs to be done.
Gelsina's gonna look at her and say, "You can just change your faith like that?" Lathy shrugs and says, "I don't see why not."
Actual laugh.
She's
Here.
yeah, she's going to look at the bard and say, "Well, I want to worship something."
Well,
Explosive.
you could worship. You could walk a Darnthal path. It's basically just a journey of self-discovery. So
A darn who? What now?
it's a religion that focuses on the idea that like you are your own guide to your own spiritual journey. They have paths. There's actually a path of Renolta. That's kind of how I know about it. But in a way, your journey to discover the deity that you wish to worship. It's all part of the whole deal.
She is going to hit the bar and say, "Well done. I am a Darn... what?
Darnthel.
Darnthel guide."
Wish you luck on your journey.
That's, I feel like Gelsina is going to be like, "Wait, where am I going? Oh, spiritual journey. Yes."
Yeah.
How about we skip through the rest of the night, unless anybody else wants to add anything?
I got nothing important.
Because, I feel like it's going to be petering conversations of faith. Hey, Lumagrax.
Yes.
I'm excited and disappointed.
What you doing? Where's Lumagrax sleeping? Where's the sword? Tell me what's going on with him.
Aren't we still in our damp,
Well,
slightly singed room?
I'm
Seriously
sleeping.
though, how did my drugs go? Or not my drugs, my bob making.
They are going to have failed. They burned too much. You weren't there to make a craft check for them. You went to dinner.
I think we're stirring.
We weren't gone that long.
Go ahead, Taylor.
So I think we're stirring Roman's room.
Yeah. Where's the sword? How's he sleeping? Roman's got a single twin size bed in here.
No, I would offer it to either of you two. I'm sleeping like the corner.
I'll take the bed. And the sword will be next to me.
I have a bedroll.
Okay. All right. And I'm assuming you're hugging the sword as you're sleeping.
Oh, of course.
It's my special sword.
All right.
Does it do anything?
Lumagrax, you are going to dream this night. You dream of Darandar, or not Darandar, I'm sorry, of the city of Gwir, the port city, the one you were traveling through when you were younger with your brother, the one where you were kidnapped and your brother was sacrificed to the cult, and Tightrith, the dwarf, helped break you out of the cult's den before you were sacrificed on that altar. You remember walking the streets, and it's a specific street. It's the row. What is the name of that row? Let's see real quick. Gwir, here we go. The Squeezeway. Actually, the Squeezeway is what the local inhabitants call it. It is actually called Saltwind Road. And it's this huge road that goes over a bridge in the middle of Gwir. And there's a huge undercity under this bridge for the part that isn't, that isn't water, of course. Because Gwir is built, Gwir is a city built around a bay. And then there's an island in the middle of the bay. And then there's a giant bridge that connects to the island. And the city is the entirety of the island, the bridge, and the bay. But anyways, you imagine yourself walking down Saltwind Row. You look at a specific door, and you see the symbol of the Fifth Ascended on it. Before you even know, your hand is on the sword, and it is drawn as you chop the door inside. As you kick it in, everybody goes running. You take one step inside, and you see all of the different faces, all of the dark artifacts here, the channeling of shadow magic happening, and everybody is scattering as you approach. There is a woman behind you who places she places her hand on your shoulder. You look at her, and you see Renalta standing behind you, eyes encompassing the entirety of the night sky. She simply nods, and you lunge forward, attacking these people as they scurry about.
Ooh. This is a dream?
I mean, it feels real, but yes.
Okay. And what city, town, place is this again? Can you
Weird.
spell it out?
Yes. I put it in Roll20, but I'll also write it in. Ooh, somebody tag me. Okay. Yeah, I will write it in Group C's thing too. The port city of Weir.
Okay. And do I wake up from this, or just keep on sleeping through?
Yeah, once you realize it's a dream, you know, like, it's like a lucid dream of you can kind of enjoy it, a little bit. And then once you realize you're dreaming, you kind of come out of it of just like, huh, what? Yes, you are awake.
And I look around the room, and do I see Renata?
Do you see Renata? Roll me a perception check.
I want to see Renata.
No, you must forever be sad.
A 13. It is. Don't you have dark vision? And I don't think you have dark vision as a dragonborn.
I don't think so.
Let us take a look. Yeah, it's too dark to make out anything in the room. You can barely see Roman or Fravia. And I'll roll your percentage die on how the moonlight's doing tonight.
Did he make a lot of noise?
Who, Lumagrax?
Yeah.
No, he's just looking around.
The distant sound of explosions from Dusty's room.
There's a pale moonlight coming through the window. It's not very light at all, though.
But me drawing my sword in my dream didn't make me draw my sword in...
No, the sword is still sheathed in your arms. You do not have to kill Roman.
Oh, good.
Oh, thank God.
Again.
I go back to bed then, to sleep.
Okay. All right. And Rob.
Yeah.
You told me that Roman was sleeping on the floor?
Yes.
Okay, roll me a Constitution check with advantage. All right. So the rest of the night is going to pass uneventfully, and I have to think. Yeah, the rest of the night is going to pass uneventfully, and in the morning, when everybody wakes up. I needed to roll one last thing. Okay, cool. Roman, you are going to wake up, and there is mold creeping along the floor, growing up your leg and on your pants. It's enough, though, that you can wipe it off and smear it and, put the... just clean the rest of the gunk off of you. It doesn't seem to have affected you.
That's a meme that I wish had died. Tried to poison me in my sleep.
I did nothing
She's
of
so
the
petty.
sort.
So petty.
So petty.
Alright. Otherwise, everybody is going to wake up, everybody's going to wake up, normally. As each person wakes up, though, there is a trail of this, mold along the, floor. Just, a black, sludgy, spory
Is the trail
fungus.
going anywhere?
Yeah, it comes from the room that Lumagrax was staying in. And it extends under each of your doorways towards yours. Or rather towards each doorway and extending into your room. That's
But is it coming from every doorway, or?
It's coming from Lumagrax's old room and trails towards your door, like it was creeping towards each of you. Yes. That said, though, I will allow passive insight and investigation and stuff. There are footsteps in it leading away from the hallway. Like if you were standing at Roman's door, there are footsteps going towards the source of it. There are no footsteps coming towards you, if that makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Is it mushroom based?
So here we go. I'm gonna draw it. Is it mushroom based? No. Have you ever seen food mold? And
Oh, yeah.
the black fungus that is on food that just kind of looks like creeping spores and fuzz? It looks like that, of just fuzz creeping on the ground. So here we go. We've got the L-shaped hallway, and I will draw this in. Magenta. Nope, we'll draw it in green. So this is Lumagrax's room, right? And this is Roman's room. And I should do this in a different green. Dusty's room, Lil Haran's room, and Lydia's room. So I'm going to do this now in forest green, and I hope that we can see this. Yes, we can. Alright, so creeping out of this room, there are tendrils of this fungus going towards each of your doors. It is this moldy, fuzzy spores on the ground coming from that room.
So it is going to all of us.
Yes, it is going to all of you. You see from Roman's room, there are footsteps going towards the source of it. There are no footsteps, and I'll draw this in red. There are no footsteps going towards you.
Okay. So what you're telling me is that there's this huge mold trail.
Yes.
An indication
mold.
that somebody
That's
walked.
the word I was looking for. Mold. Yes.
So there's this huge mold trail, and there are footsteps that indicate that somebody from our room exited and walked across it, not the other way around.
Yes.
So I'm gonna note that, and then I'm gonna be like, sort of like, hey, is everybody okay?
I don't know. Do I wake up covered in mold, or?
No,
And
you
whose
did not.
room is this?
Say it again?
Whose room is this that
That's
it came
Roman's.
from?
So ours.
Yeah.
Was that the one with the
As-
tree leaning up against it, or was that a different room?
I will draw this in, let's see, the tree, I will draw in a yellow...
Can we get labels to see whose room it is? Because so far they all
the tree
just
is
kind of
there. Okay, I will put labels on this, and I'll do them in red. So, Lydia will be L, Roman is going to be R, and then with Roman is Fravia and Lumagrax. A Lil Harin, what's her face? Lathy and Gelsina are in that room, and then Altus, and who else is in here? Dusty. Yeah. Alright. So, Lil Harin is going to step out of her room. And she is cleaning this stuff off of her arms. And she's just going to be able to brush it off. It smears across her. But she is going to look across the floor. And I guess Dusty's looking at it too. And she's going to look and say, "This wasn't a result of your book, was it?"
You know, that is a legitimate question, and I honestly don't know.
No, it's definitely Croesus.
I mean, maybe. Anyway, to quickly change the topic.
Pathway goes from their room, and it fans out. So it's the reason that it came from the tree and stuff.
I'm just gonna go in the room. I'm gonna go back into my room.
Everybody good.
I want to ask Altus back in our room, in privacy. Did you do that, or was that actually?
Altus,
is this part of the scare?
Altus is gonna pull out the book and start flipping through it and say if mold paths are magic in this book. Jim hasn't told them to me yet.
You mind if I see the book? Maybe.
Yeah, I guess he'll hand it to you. He's gonna,
right.
And he keeps a hand on it and says, "No spell casting this time."
I make no promises. I'm very new to this. I don't know how any of this works yet. Finding out new things. I mean, yesterday I shot ice out of my hands for the first time. Didn't even try. Don't know how it works, honestly. And I guess I'll make an Arcana check, I'm assuming.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna lucky that. Better.
Yeah, an Arcana check. Yeah, you're going to inspect this book, trying to read through it and these sigils. And of course, you're not able to access the full power of this book. But yeah, you're gonna be able to determine this if this book was on Altus's person, it definitely didn't spawn from the book at all. It was not any doing of the Dark Tome.
Okay. Huh, alright. I'll give the book back to Altus. And it's well, now that we know for sure it wasn't us, I don't know. I mean, do we still need to stay in this town, or do we need to get going?
We should probably leave.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Oh shit! I didn't know. I thought you were.
I was still in my room talking to Altus.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm trying
okay.
to
Yeah, you
fine.
ask Altus that. Altus
Yeah.
is.
I was I don't know,
Altus is gonna say, "Yeah, we should leave as quickly as possible. The boatman, we're not breaking his faith anytime soon, and the crow lady doesn't like my master, doesn't like our god. Yeah, let's not
your
stay
god.
here.
I thought Altus wasn't religious either. Or if he was religious, it was like specifically to his master.
And he doesn't say our god as in like who I worship, just like a predominant force in the party. But yeah, he doesn't care.
Okay. Well, no, it's just like, I mean, I want to make good. I do kind of want to know I kind of want to find out what she knows. I think it could be useful. So I do think we should make good on that deal she proposed. But I don't know. Do we need to be in this town specifically for that? Or are we able to, like, just kind of gesturing to the book, magic our way to talk to her? I don't know.
He is going to say, well, first things first, I have to kill Nefano and turn him into my undead husband, and then we can talk from there. But he needs to die first.
Die, enslave... whatever. I don't know, whatever. Same thing, I guess.
Altus and Altus is going to walk into the hallway.
Now we go back and like I do pose a question of like, is there anything else in this town we need, or we good to go?
If the rest of the party is silent,
I was still establishing if everybody was safe and healthy.
Oh, okay, safe and healthy. Stepping out of the room, Lydia and Geisen seem completely unfazed, as like they both seem like a little shocked, like just seeing this trail on the floor. And it does not look like they have any of this fungus on them. Lathy and Galcine are going to both say, yeah, we slept on the bed. Lil Haran is going to speak up and say, I slept with my sleeping bag on the, or my sleeping sack on the floor. And she gestures and says, as soon as I clean the rest of this grime off of me, I'll be fine. Again, it doesn't look like she's infected with anything.
And I feel fine, right?
Yeah, like brushing the grime off of you, like there was no residual effects on your skin or anything that you notice.
Cool.
I feel fine too. Did it cover? Did it only cover Roman, or did it also reach, I guess, Fravia laying on her bedroll?
I was assuming Fravia was on the bottom end of the bed. I
had her on a bedroll.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can roll you a Constitution check, or you can roll me one if you want. And we can, like, Fravia can be just like looking over her clothes, and just like, hey, am I fine?
All right. See what we got.
Actually, Dusty.
Fravia's gonna go to like just brush off her legs, and you know she like pulls up her trousers, and there's a black vein like just running along her ankle. Galcina's going to look at it and say, "Oh, that looks like rot limb or something." Lydia's going to grimace and say, "Rot limb?" And she's going to say, "Oh yeah, people got it in Isildred all the time." And she's going to look over at Fravia and say, I know some restorative magics. Perhaps I could... She holds her hands towards you.
Yes, if you happen to know a lower level restoration spell, that would help out for now. If we have to do anything greater, I'll take care of it.
Lydia's going to kneel and place her hands on your leg. She casts Lesser Restoration. And your light is going to pour into your leg. And as she removes her hands, the black vein is gone, and she's going to then put her hands out and say, there we go. There is now a black vein on Lydia's palm. She looks down at it and
Oh.
she then places a hand on it again and casts Lesser Restoration. It is now on her other, through her fingertips.
Oh.
Roman's gonna walk over and more or less slap her hand.
Trying to slap it off. You are unable to do so. It is inside of her skin.
Well, I was gonna see if it seems like it's transferring to the magical source. I was maybe seeing if I couldn't take it.
Actually, that's a good question.
It does not transfer to your hand.
Bummer.
Okay. We don't want to take any chances. So I will cast a Greater Restoration on
Do you
her.
have diamond dust?
Are aware of that.
Oh wait, I need diamond. Oh wait, that needs
1,000
diamond dust.
Yeah.
Never
component
mind.
to it.
Do you remove curse?
Yeah, never mind. I just saw the diamond dust part. So. Oh boy.
Do you ever remove curse?
Oh. I do, but I don't have it prepared yet. Since it's the morning, I can take
Right
some
now.
time to prepare it. Yeah.
Netra is going to step
Oh yeah,
forward.
wait, Petra.
I forgot.
And oh yeah, I don't remember where she was sleeping. That's my bad. But she's going to step forward and hands extended and say, "Let me give a try at it." She expends 5 points of lay on hands on Lydia to cure her of disease. Netra then removes her hands, and there is no more black veins rolling through Lydia's fingertips.
Dusty. So Dusty wants to. I'm going to take out a knife, and I'm just going to scrape some of the mold off the floor, and get one of my vials from my alchemy kit. Just kind of scrape that in there.
Okay,
Cork it.
roll me a tool check using your alchemy supplies, and I'm going to say you can apply your dexterity to it.
I can apply my dexterity to it.
To handle
I've got
this material.
I'm going to use thieves' tools, but that's basically what the check would be if you're using dexterity.
Aloharan.
No.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, Aloharan is going to, as Netra seems satisfied at this, Aloharan is going to say, it was responding when she dispelled it. How can you be certain? Take off your gauntlets. Netra is going to say, there's no way it could get through my plate, as she takes off one of her gauntlets. There are black veins on Netra's fingertips now, and Netra is going to retract those words. Lydia is going to spend her last second level spell and say, well, if it's a plague, I'll bear it, as she goes towards Netra's hands. Gaizen grabs the hood of her robes.
I was gonna grab her hand. I feel like we're simultaneously doing like, no, stop. Netra's a paladin. They're hardy people. If anybody can bear this, it'd be her.
Netra is going to look shocked at this. I haven't been sick in ages.
Yeah.
Yeltsina's gonna look at her and whisper and say, hope you like those fingers. Or you don't like those fingers. Netra flexes them several times and puts her gauntlet back on and says, I feel fine though.
I'd love to figure out what that's all about. I know who we could ask, but
You know, something tells me she doesn't really want to talk to us.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow these footsteps.
Alright. Following the footsteps, you are going to go into Lumagrax's room, and you're going to see the room is completely overgrown with flora, fungus, and mold. The tree has grown through the cracks of the room. From the patch of moss that is growing on the back wall, this mold has seeped down almost like mildew or water staining the wood, then creeping and growing across the floor towards each of the rooms. The footsteps are going to lead to a person who is standing in this room. She is wearing a long black dress as she is looking out at the tree. She turns around looking at you. She has no eyes in her socket. You recognize this person as one of the visages of your goddess.
Oh, so I recognize this as Ronalda, or some version of her?
I feel like that's a good place to stop for the night.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, because I have to get off.
Okay. And we will pick up their next session.
I gotta go ahead and get off now. So, if you could, I guess I'll either rely on Rob's recaps, or you could put it in the chat. That'll help me out.
Okay.
How much you recap all that?
Yeah. Pretty. I think actually I'm just gonna do a flat 3,000 tonight for just good roleplay all around. Only story stuff really revealed was for Altus's personal story, but it wasn't anything new. It was just more clarifying what you already learned.
My sword.
Oh yeah, Lumagrax's sword getting put back together. I'll give you guys a minor experience for that. See, from the reason I haven't been trying to be a dick with the sword, like I thought I explained to you, it was trying to put itself back together, but it just couldn't. And as I've well, hold on, let me do experience in case Ramon's still here so you can go. Yeah, I'm gonna say 3,750. And I'm going to give inspiration to Roman and Dusty for tonight.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm gonna go get off then.
Okay, and our next session, I will be in contact with you guys. Because that, I think it falls on the 7th. I have something to do that night. So I don't know if I'll actually be able to make it, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna end the broadcast there. But